right, Marcus. So I missed most of what you said. We had to restart the internet. Hopefully, we can get through this last topic. So,
Yeah.
are you mentioned something about it was just the library that you thought may had to have been purchased, but now you think the company may be sold as well. Is that what you were
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It seems like that. I mean, we talked about, like I said, the library was up for grabs, and then that was kind of a little concerning, and then because this felt like all of a sudden, it felt like the company actually was moving in a consistently positive direction. Certainly after the turn of with the pandemic and everything, and coming off of the momentum they had with the Pure tournament and finally getting the women's division off the ground, and then this just like they got dropped, and then now we found out these financial craters that the parent company put themselves into. And you look at it like, man, you could have been pumping so much of that money into Ring of Honor and putting your energy there, and not something that never got off the ground and now has you feel like 6 feet under. And now this company and all these performers have had to suffer when if you just treated them like how the fans felt that they should have been treated, like the main kid and not the redheaded stepchild, then you may not be here right now. But again, it's priorities. They didn't see them as something important enough to put that backing into. And with that thinking, they've knocked off a great alternative in wrestling, a great place for people to go with a such a firm foundational lineage with so many great performers that are now in bigger places, and it almost seems like a wash, with everything that company has been through and everything that's been to for wrestling. So it does seem like we may not get it back in any terms of relevancy that it should be, specifically if they come back under this regime. At this point, Sinclair just can't be trusted with this kid.
No.
It's abuse at this point. So, they do get sold. I hope it's somebody that actually cares about the company's legacy. But you can never know with these things. So.
So let's clear up some misconceptions because I was wrong about some things, but right about other things. Sinclair themselves, as a total operational arm, is not in debt $9 billion. They have a subsidiary, Marcus, called Diamond Sports. This subsidiary is in debt $9 billion. So technically, it's Sinclair's debt, but it's allocated to a different arm of the company. So this Diamond Sports outfit is the issue at hand, right? And Sinclair is investing close to $600 million in a direct to streaming service that would incorporate baseball, hockey, and basketball. But the issue is streaming service rights. Apparently, nothing can move forward until Diamond has their debt significantly handled. And apparently, a lot of this debt came from when Diamond purchased a bunch of the Bally Sports regional channels from Disney after Disney bought Fox's library. So there's a lot of money that is owed in both Diamond and Sinclair because Sinclair is now paying off Diamond's debt, which think about it more like Anthem and Impact. If Impact has a debt that Anthem has to pay off, that's essentially what's happening here. And apparently I lost Marcus again. Okay. That was weird. So that's kind of the situation that we're seeing right now is Sinclair is having to pay off debts from some of the subsidiaries, which is impacting how much they can give to Ring of Honor. And I agree with you; they need to sell Ring of Honor to somebody who can actually take care of it, or at the very least keep its lineage, its legacy alive through streaming services or incorporating it into a development system like we pitched last week with Ring of Honor and AEW. I'm hopeful, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I just really feel bad for the talent because so many of the names, at the company have kind of hitched their identity. Like I said, like the freaking Briscoes were gonna, and at this point you can, if you're fans of them, kudos to you. But it's a weird place to be in for guys like me and Chad. But you had to think they was gonna retire there or die in the ring there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing anymore. And those guys are exclusively synonymous with Ring of Honor, mostly because apparently the WWE's narrative didn't find them cosmetically pleasing. Uh, so they bet on the horse that was betting on them, and they rode a lot of success in that regard. But now it's like, and it sucks thing about it now because I'm like, this would be a thing that Impact would do. Because they made some moves and we both been like, like what?
If you're Impact and you had the opportunity to get their library, I don't know why you wouldn't. Because that's a huge get. Because there's so many great matches, so many great feuds, so many great storylines that happen in Ring of Honor that if you're Impact, you have a streaming service, you have the ability to bring this content straight forward. Why wouldn't you? Like, it makes no sense not to. So we'll see. Like, Ring of Honor is going to be, I think, sold off eventually within the next 3 to 4 months. Whether it's just a tape library or everything else. So we'll see what happens. Watching where the talent goes is going to be especially interesting. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Marcus, any final thoughts on anything before we head off for the night?
No, that was it for me.
All right. So realnerdcorp.com, REALNERDCORP.com. We're on Twitter at NERDCORP. We're on YouTube.com at, I think, Real Wrestling Underground, The Wrestling Underground, one of those, right? So, yeah, find us on there. Marcus, you can be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParaDoxKid. That's your Twitter.
That is me.
You can also find him on his other podcast, The Truepenny Show, TruePennyShow, on Twitter. Find new episodes of The Truepenny Show on their Twitter account. I'm on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut, ChadSPHOTOHUT. Be sure to find us, like us, subscribe to us, comment to us, or whatever. I don't know. We'll be on next Monday for another edition of the Wrestling Underground podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. Remember, as always, to watch more wrestling. And Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.